Yo, we're back. It feels good.
Week-long vacay.
Yeah, it's feeling nice. The only problem is taking a vacation and then, do a show once a week. You miss out on a lot of stuff. There's a lot to get into, including, Nova Scotia power looking at increasing.
Which I feel like we talked about a year ago as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Electric cars not being allowed to charge in California.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting.
I always love to see that.
Yeah.
And we also talk about Biden's...
Everything.
We talk about that. And then,
Biden.
Yeah, just anything Biden. Then we also hit some real estate issues of stuff that's going on, of course, locally and abroad. And,
Just Canada in a whole.
And, all the craziness is going on. Well,
Yeah.
you know what we're talking about. And it all starts now.
Innovation is in our veins. Soon the whole world will know our names. Sharing our knowledge and freedom reign. We're here for the people, you know it's our way. Setting foundations is part of the dream. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game. Listen up now, cause we all gon' say, elevate, 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 higher, elevate, 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 higher. We gon' rise up, we all gon' shine. Work through adversity, stay on the grind. Elevate, elevate, this is our time. Elevate, elevate.
Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, everyone. It's so great to have you all on one more time. It's your boy, Josh.
Dalton.
And we're grateful to be back on with you once again. Baby.
Another week, dog.
And we're here
Another
for it.
week. How's your week off?
Dude, it was amazing. Loved it. Had a great time off. Had some friends come up from Boston, hang out with them.
Amazing.
And they came in and they roasted our podcast setup. They call it, because apparently down south it's called the Pod Lab. A lot of podcasts calling their studio a Pod Lab these days.
That's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
I like the vibe with it.
Still think it's stupid, but here we are. So yeah, had them up. It was a good time. Had a good time. It was the first time in a long time. I actually took a real vacation. Didn't take time off to go travel or go somewhere. It was like I'm just hanging out, doing nothing, no responsibilities. Except for wake up in the morning, put an hour into putting some TikTok content together, and then
Playing video games.
playing video games, playing ping pong. Played a lot of ping pong.
I love it.
And
Love it.
Yeah, it was a good time. I needed that.
That was a good end of summer, eh?
Oh, 100%.
How about you? Good week?
Oh, it's great. It's expensive, but great.
Good stuff.
Yeah, this guy's out here dropping $50 on vodka.
What brand vodka was it?
Absolute.
Oh.
It was only like a 750 bottle, too.
Oh, well, that's expensive.
Inflation is real.
That's right.
No, it's called tax.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but we also wanted to kind of let you guys know, if you guys are tuning in on YouTube, we need to get to 100 likes is what we're looking for on this video.
Yeah, you have to.
Can we do it? Can we do it? If we don't hit 100 likes, well,
We're doing some back-end surveys.
Yeah.
We're doing some data analysis.
I'm coming after you. But if we hit 100 likes on this video, you know what? I'll make a promise coming out of my pocket directly. We will pick someone randomly and give them $100.
Wow. You hear that? Just making financial decisions on the fly. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
I love it.
Yeah, I made
agree.
sure to specify it's coming out of my pocket.
I just I agree. I think
It should come out of Josh's pocket.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to pay for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, double it.
Yeah, 500. But alongside that, we introduced the podcast. I uploaded it to two new places, iHeartRadio, which I'm very interested to see. So if you get to YouTube another way, and just in the comments, let me know if there's somewhere you wish our podcast was where you normally tune into them, where we're not.
Yeah.
Because we're just slowly discovering there's many platforms that
We're not
aware of. So if our show's somewhere where you wish it was, let us know. I'm sure we can get it on there.
100%. Especially if you're listening to this show, just on audio, whether it be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. Just feel free. Be great if you just quickly hit over YouTube. Just hit the like button.
Yeah, sub
out.
on YouTube. It's super beneficial. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it helps push our stuff and get our stuff in front of people. And if you like us,
It makes this more possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except for we've been getting toasted in the comments on TikTok lately. So those are fun.
You know what? I think with anything, regardless of our subject matter, I think when there's just two people who talk about things that maybe
get people riled up.
Yeah, exactly. It's bound to happen. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter the subject matter, I think you could discuss something almost widely accepted globally, and there would still be a loud corner of the earth that has something to say.
Oh,
Has
yeah.
to be.
Exactly. That's just how life is. Too many of us not to.
That's right. Not a good or bad thing. It's just what it is, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's all comment.
Dude, I had a fun time last night. Probably exposed myself here, but I watched the Joe Rogan podcast with Eddie Bravo.
Oh, interesting.
Dude, he's
How was
so
that?
funny, dude. Dude, it was comical. I just like, it makes me laugh.
Really?
He's just like, yeah, I mean, obviously he's huge into his conspiracy theories, right? And to see how much deeper he keeps going on them is very intriguing to me. But they're talking about how if you took the whole population of the world,
God, oh no.
and this gets good, you put them shoulder to shoulder, you could fit them all in LA.
Stop.
Yeah, look this up, Philip. This was a thing.
So what, they just think LA's absurdly large and we don't know about it?
No, but apparently, like, it's actually just like, that's just the reality. That's how much space we take up. Like, that's reality.
What?
Yeah.
So you're saying everyone where? Everyone shoulder to shoulder. Who?
Like the population of the world.
The world.
The world, dude. That's what
In
they're
LA.
saying. That's what they're saying.
Dog.
Dude, isn't that crazy?
And this, so let's look at
Here we go. From National Geographic. Standing shoulder to shoulder, the entire world's population could fit within the 500 square miles, 1,300 square kilometers of Los Angeles.
there's no way. That's crazy.
So the reason why they brought this up was the whole, Ian, the stuff that's being pushed about we're overpopulated.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you were to put people shoulder to shoulder and they would all fit in LA, we still have a lot of room on Earth.
Yeah.
Again, you come with the argument of like, okay, how do you feed those people? How do you make sure they live sustainably? Yes, that, the other. We got it. But it's just like, it was an interesting piece of imagery. You're like,
It's funny because if you ask Elon Musk, he says we're suffering from an underpopulation issue.
yeah.
Elon Musk is saying that we statistically need to be having like 5 times more children.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Because I remember like years ago, it was China that had the one child policy.
Yeah.
And now it's increased to like 3 or 4 children
Yeah. Well, I think
per household.
like our generation, for example, compared to like boomers, we statistically are not having as many kids as them.
Yeah.
We're just not.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Because people want their freedom, they want their money, they want their people. I think there's a part of people who want to be selfish as well. You have to be 100% selfless to have a family. I think also people in our generation are becoming parents just later in life than compared to boomers who were having kids at 17, 18, 19, 20.
Right.
Now it's like 27, 20, 29, 30.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm counting that a lot. Like, especially there's a lot. It's a common thing in just in our age group or our age bracket where it's like, I'll get to it, and it seems like a lot of people just kind of entertain it because it's something they know they should do.
Yeah, or
so,
they think they should do.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I mean, I understand that, and I give, a props to people who are just like, it's just I wouldn't be a great parent, so
Yeah. Or just no.
pointless. Yeah. It's just not for me. Which I can get that. I'm someone who definitely wants to have children, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. But yeah, so it's interesting. So I just thought that was an interesting stat. Shout out National Geographic. Granted, that is from 2011, but
Right.
still, how much more different is it going to be? We've probably grown.
I
by,
would never have
a billion.
expected that.
No.
Because, I mean, LA is pretty big,
Mm-hmm.
But so just in LA, not even all of California?
No.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Nuts. That is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it just painted a picture of like we are so much smaller than. Yeah, we're not as big as we think we are.
Absolutely not. I've always actually lived by that statement up until almost like 2 days ago. And
Wow.
yeah, no, straight up. Can you believe this is fresh off the press? And I was watching a video of an astronomer, and he said, let's say, Earth exists in a galaxy of, infinite possibilities of other planets. And our galaxy exists in a potential infinite amount of other galaxies in a potential infinite universe. But what if every single other star is not capable of producing the life we have here? Doesn't this really matter then? We don't know. There's nothing to compare to. Why not just think we are that important?
Right.
If that gets you through your day. For some people, they like to feel that there's something more out there. For some people, that terrifies them.
Yeah.
Thinking that they're small or that there's parallel universes or other planets or something like that scares a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, parallel universes are interesting. Like even the idea of like hauntings is people thinking that's more like parallel universes.
Right. When they see like an energy or something that could be.
Yeah. Or it's like a time slip almost. That theory is interesting.
Yeah.
Which like there's people who just like would walk down the street, then all of a sudden they're like in the 1800s for like a brief minute.
Weird.
And then they're back into like real life. It's like, what the heck?
Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never like had a real experience other than I was staying at a family's cottage, and their cottage is near traditional burial grounds, and from like, I mean, historic burial grounds. Like, I mean,
Right,
you know what I
way
mean?
back.
Yeah, yeah, like likely First Nations or Native burial grounds, I would assume, and like 100%, I was looking at the patio door, and there was just like an orb just floating around. Like I saw it. This isn't like I saw it, and there's no other cottages around this one.
Yikes.
I was like, that's weird. And then when we were leaving, I put my backup on, and my reverse camera just kept beeping like something was behind it, but there was not a thing. And I was like, oh, that's odd.
That is odd.
Yeah.
I mean, you've lived here longer than I have.
Yeah.
What's any credence to the story of the McDonald Bridge that's collapsed twice?
The what, sorry?
The McDonald Bridge that's collapsed twice.
I've never heard of that.
So yeah, apparently this is a story I've heard kind of been spread around. I'm actually curious if Philip can find it by the end. I'm finished the story. So so there's a story that essentially when essentially the city took over, the grounds that to extend the McDonald Bridge.
Yeah.
It was on First Nations territory.
Yeah.
And a chief elder put a curse on the land that the bridge would collapse 3 times.
Got it.
Apparently, it's collapsed twice at this point.
Oh, are people just waiting for the third?
Yeah. That's like the old tale that I was told when I first moved here. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, were you told the tale of why it rains during the fair?
No.
What?
No.
So the Bill Lynch Fair is the Halifax Fair. And if I'm not mistaken, you may want to Google this as well, but the Halifax Bill Lynch Fair, Bill Lynch's son, relative, engaged in a romantic relationship with a First Nations
Woman?
Yeah, daughter or niece or relative, and that was a no-no. That was not
right.
good. And they put a curse on the fair.
Oh.
So that would always rain when the fair comes to Halifax. And 9 times out of 10, it rains when there's a fair.
Really?
Yeah.
When's the fair usually take place? Like
Anytime there's a fair.
Oh. Anytime.
Yeah. Google Halifax Fair Rain or something. Dude, what is this episode?
Yeah. This is a
I
huge
love it.
diversion.
I have another one.
Yeah, the Curse of Bill Lynch.
Oh, the coast.
And maybe I have it backwards, so let's get it right. But
all right, the Curse of Bill Lynch, theorizing on why it is that when the fair rolls into the city, so too does endless, relentless rain. Boom. It always rains when Bill Lynch comes to town. Now, Bill Lynch himself, king of the Midway, beloved man of the carnival, he who built a family fun-time empire from the shores of McNabb's Island, has been dead since 1972. Bill Lynch then is shorthand for any fair at all. In that colloquial maritime way, a Sobeys bag means any plastic bag, even when you can plainly see a competing logo. Whether you're in downtown Dartmouth or at the provincial exhibition in Truro, that cavalcade of rides, unwinnable giants, stuffed animals, and candy apples, the focal point is always a Ferris wheel. Okay, we get the point.
let's see if it goes on to explain. Okay, here we go.
There are 2 leading theories about the curse. One is naturally racist as all get out, a spurned Mi'kmaq woman, and that's as a Mi'kmaq. Am I pronouncing that correct? I know there's two.
So they spelled it, I think, improperly. They shouldn't. It's McMaw. Though.
Okay, McMaw. Okay. A spring McMaw woman, that's as far as we need to go on that one. The other is halfway there. A carnival worker died on the job, so another carnival worker declared that the sky must weep in his honor every time the fair set up in a new place. This is almost believable, except who exactly was this random man with the power to control the weather just by saying it out loud? Interesting. Rather than sit on this pair of subpar ideas in an attempt to flush some infamously tight-lipped and local Lynch historians out of hiding, whether in correction, defense, or confirmation, here are 3 other theories about why it rains. Interesting.
So interesting to learn, though, that... So, I mean, I grew up on that first theory, which turns out is racist. So that, I've learned something. That's great. But that is what I was told. But it is, regardless of the theory, interesting.
Yeah.
It does always rain.
I do have a question, though. Why is it racist? Did I miss something there?
I don't know.
I think it's probably just
The fact that a First Nations put a curse on something because they were upset.
Oh, fair
it's
enough.
like blaming the natives because it's rained the next fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I
I think that's where the racism comes into play.
But what if it's true?
But, oh my god! Admittedly, the story I was told was that there was like a relationship disapproval going on. I didn't know it was just outright like that. But regardless, interesting that it does typically rain when there's a fair.
Interesting. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, now to my thing. Back to Indigenous people putting curses on things.
Oh my gosh.
The Angus MacDonald Bridge has been long said to be cursed over the span of 200 years. 3 bridges have been constructed on the site, and intrigue is connected to all 3. The first construction, a footbridge, fell unexpectedly during a winter storm. Legend has it that in Mi'kmaq, the local native tribe, may have originally placed a curse on the bridge, causing it to fall. Years later, the second railway bridge also fell on an otherwise pleasant day. And the third, the present MacDonald Bridge, has had its fair share of mystery. The first being a worker falling to his death while it was being constructed in the 1950s. Following this accident, a local Mi'kmaq Indian chief was asked to remove the curse. He obliged by performing a ceremony in which he literally buried a hatchet, though some believe the curse still lingers.
Interesting.
Footbridge. Interesting. That must have been some engineering feat.
Just back then.
Just a footbridge, eh?
Yeah.
Oof. That's a long way. Yeah, very interesting. And I'll be hearing more. I want to hear more haunted place ideas to
if you know
Nova
more
Scotia.
haunted stuff here. I mean, there's like the Ambassador's Ghost Tour, I think. You walk around Sizzle Hill.
Oh, yeah.
It seems kind of cheesy. Like, it's an old base.
Right.
Of course it's haunted. But I want like the interesting stuff. Like,
we're gonna find some locals, and we're gonna have an Elevate sponsored ghost tour this October.
Wait, that's iconic.
Dude, let's do it.
Wait, what day does Halloween fall?
I think it's a Saturday this year.
That's exciting.
All right, go to our YouTube page and put a thumbs up if you want to be a part of this.
Wait, that could be fun.
Yeah. That could be fun. Anyways, that was 20 minutes of fun.
I got one last conspiracy.
Oh,
theory,
come on!
Give it.
On when you're talking about space.
Yeah.
This is off like a Reddit post of a guy saying he works for NASA. So
I saw this.
This is about. So apparently
the disappearing stars.
There's disappearing stars.
Yeah.
So there's 3 observed stars in a quadrant of the universe that we've been actively
taking photographs of.
That 3 of them have disappeared since the 70s, I think.
72, I think, yeah.
One of them disappeared, and they were like, "Oh, thought it was just like a photo error." And then they got the new telescope up,
the JWST,
the JWS, and they focused the telescope on there, and they saw that there were like strings connecting.
The energy was still there, and they were connected, but you could not see them
between the stars. And then recently, they saw the string going towards another star, and they put the telescope on it as it was approaching the star, and you could see like beams of energy fighting towards, fighting the other beam, supposedly aliens fighting off this like beam coming towards their star. And then eventually the star got engulfed then by this beam or whatever, and it like wrapped around the star. And at this point we were like focused looking at the star, and as it wrapped around, apparently it looked like leaves, like wrapping around the star, grabbing its energy. And then they looked again at all the like elements and whatnot using whatever things on the telescope. They looked at the connection, and they're thinking then that it's a giant organism or a plant basically consuming stars for energy.
So there's like, they're thinking it's extraterrestrial life using stars for energy production.
Weird.
And apparently it started moving towards our sun, and it's supposed to come here within 27 years.
27 years.
So this Reddit user did say.
Shout out Reddit.
Yeah.
So that's.
I thought that was so intriguing.
I saw it just scrolling through, and I'm like, oh, there's no way this is true, but like,
it's intriguing.
It's kind of scary.
That is weird.
Yeah, man. Space is cool. I love space.
I love space.
Quote that in 27 years.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
We'll still be doing this every once a week. 27 years from now, the boys will still be here. Welcome to the LV podcast. I will be approximately 60-something years old. So
Yikes.
crazy. Wow. Yeah,
Yikes.
I don't even want to think about that. Shoot.
That does the same thing for people thinking about space. It's like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, even like the whole idea that people think that, the UFOs that we've seen
yeah.
are all government run.
Yeah. Oh.
Interesting. I don't know.
For another episode, obviously, through my family, there's ties to the South Shore. Look up the Barrington, Nova Scotia, the UFOs sightings that I've been seeing there. When you drive through the town, it's like all about UFOs.
Oh, really?
Just in Nova Scotia. And basically, there was a UFO that crashed into the water, and it was tracked by the Canadian government as hitting the water, and like foam came out of it. And when local fishermen went over to try and rescue what they thought was a plane, it took off underwater, going like 80 kilometers an hour underwater.
No way.
The Coast Guard had this thing tracked going like rapid out of the harbor. Underwater. Just took off.
That's a mess.
Dude, these things happen.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God.
That's like a whole episode.
Dude, that's wow.
We need to do like a Halloween conspiracy
we should
episode.
get spooky Nova Scotia stuff for an episode.
Absolutely. Throw them in, y'all. Whether it be fill up our Instagram DMs or in the comment sections of YouTube, whatever it is, wherever you can make contact us, send us an email.
There's cool stuff here. There's history in this province.
Yeah, man. We gotta somebody. Ooh, yeah. We gotta get somebody on this. It'll be lit. It'll be fun.
Woo!
Fun. Woo!
Anyway, how do we make this segue?
Yeah, all right. So speaking of crazy things that are happening in life, crazy things are happening in Saskatchewan.
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
smokes. What about these guys stabbing people?
Dude, that is I haven't actually really been able to fathom. I get caught up on most things in life. I always think, why? And there isn't a why yet.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it.
It's just completely it's an overused term, but it is senseless. It really is.
Yes.
It's like 10 killed, 15 injured. Something like that.
I was actually having this conversation today with my mom and with Hannah.
18 injured.
How people who, or at least what I've been seeing, is people who organize and execute these mass killings. It's almost like they know there will be 15 minutes of fame afterward. And if you're dealing with someone with a true narcissistic personality, this is just their entryway to that fame. To them, they don't. It's like it doesn't matter, but they get the fame regardless of what it's for. It's like all press is good press.
Right. Interesting.
Is that why these people are doing it? I don't know. I like this is just me grasping at straws because I just can't figure out why.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no. That may not even be why. That's what makes us like
right, or were they just born innately to kill?
Yeah, that's an interesting one to think about too. Huh? Yeah,
were they just born that way?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, apparently, the one who's at large right now, because
one is deceased,
one died, he committed suicide, at least reportedly, and then the second one's still on the run. At least at the time of recording this show at the moment. Yeah, he might be captured by the time this thing airs. But he's been in and out of jail in prison, and like lawyers were covering it in terms of like why was he out?
Yeah.
All the things that he's done.
Yeah.
He's committed a lot of crimes before this, and he was just out. And I'm not gonna lie, it brings back another conversation of how ridiculous our justice system is, and how soft our federal government is on crime. Period.
Yeah.
Which trying to understand this whole mentality of trying to take guns away from everybody, but then releasing all the criminals into the wild.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So,
and I think there's three main things. I think one, there isn't maybe strict enough incarceration policies for people at this degree, or there is not ample rehabilitation structures in place for people who commit crimes like this. And then the third thing I think I've noticed through the news and watching, you can see it in Nova Scotia, but across the world, mainly in Canada, is if you're able to make a convincing case that you are not criminally responsible, you can live a pretty good life as a criminal, and that's scary.
right.
Because there are some people who are not criminally responsible. I don't know how much I love that. You did commit a crime.
Right.
That's for another day. But if you're not actually someone who ticks all those boxes but can convince them, criminals are sometimes really good liars or convincers or manipulators. So I wonder how many make it through the system who don't actually require mental health services, but know that that's an out.
Right. That's a good point.
I have no idea.
That's a great point. It's a messy situation, right? Because like there's some big things that need to be addressed in the meantime, and I have a couple friends who work corrections, and hearing their stories of kind of their perspective.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they are literally the epitome of I hate every government.
Yeah.
And there's like when conservatives are in power, they have some serious problems, and the liberals are in power, they have some serious issues as well. It's just the reality of tribalistic policies.
100%. And I think that we got a comment on a show maybe 2 weeks ago and was like, I thought you guys were part of Rebel News.
Yeah.
And I think, which is so funny. I don't mean to say it in that tone. I think that was quite common. It was actually a nice comment.
Yeah.
But what I think is funny is, let's say we keep this show up for 8 more years. And I'm just saying this strictly for an example. In 4, let's say we transition to a conservative government. By the time we hit that 8-year mark, I suspect you and I would have a lot to say about the conservative government by that time too.
100%.
It's just that right now, the only thing I can complain about is the liberal government.
Right.
They both, I think, are, pretty hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think any type of power structure, I actually am a huge fan of term limits, I think now.
Oh, me too. I think everyone's time is up.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a time limit for everything they do.
Yeah.
So you can't play ball forever.
No, and like I'm seeing what I saw the same thing with Harper, and I'm starting to see the same thing with Trudeau. Is you're in office for long enough, you start thinking you're untouchable, and you
think you're Canada.
Yeah, you are.
You are the nation's core. You've put yourself at the center of our country.
Yeah,
we are supposed to be at the center of the country.
Exactly, and you think you can get away with anything.
Yeah,
at that point, and like and I'm starting to realize that, and that's the part I have a problem with, is a lot of people who had complaints about Harper, about how he would kind of utilize his
are blind
power.
right now.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Trudeau's doing the exact same thing and worse. And all of a sudden, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, woke liberalism, I think, will to be a woke liberal, you have to turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your narrative falls apart.
Yeah. That's a tough one to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it all the time. Like, as someone who's a Christian, it's very interesting to me when I run into other people who believe.
Yeah.
And then seeing the degree of how firm their faith actually is.
Right.
And seeing how defensive someone gets, say, when an atheist comes to them.
Right.
And, like, just ask questions like, all right, could you tell me the legitimacy of, like, the creation story? And all of a sudden, well, of course, the planet's been around for 3,000, 6,000 years, and this, that, the other. And they get all, like, bent out of shape over it. And I'm like... Or there's a conversation there of like, this is why there's always been such a friction between Christians and atheists over the time, is because Christians are so awful at defending their faith and actually knowing how to properly have conversations.
Yeah.
And I see the same thing with woke liberalism, is you bring up one question all of a sudden they get defensive and they get mad.
Likewise with far rights.
Oh, 100%.
It's the exact same. Let me make that very clear. Far rights are no better. I think the message in all of that is wherever you look, there's divisiveness in every aspect. Even if it's, let's say, your job, and say there's like you work a retail job. The managers are always wearing a different shirt than the cashiers. They're always in a different office. And I understand there's a hierarchy, but that plain divisiveness creates an energy and a culture, and it's can be that basic where it's like that's not very harmless, but it's a
harmful.
Yeah, it's an example you can see. You can literally see that divisiveness.
Right.
So I think when it's invisible, it's actually easier for it to get more toxic because you can't spot it.
No, I think you're right. I think this goes back to the conversation I was just having with someone just recently. And they asked me the question. There's like, the states and us as well, because it's affected us to a different degree. They're referring to Biden's speech this past week. There's like, how does America come back from this?
Right.
Like how do we? Because Canada is just about is getting it to be as divisive as the states are at this point.
Yeah.
How do we come back from this?
Yeah.
And I legitimately, for the first time, was like, I don't think there is. I think we're toast.
Yeah.
I think the Canada that say our kids are going to grow up in is going to be drastically different.
Absolutely
than
right.
What I inherited.
Absolutely right. And
not in a good way either.
I admittedly expected nothing less because I'm growing up in a different Canada than that of my parents and that of my grandmother who immigrated here. If she was alive, God rest her soul, this is not the Canada that she would be comfortable in, I don't think.
Right.
It's not the Canada that she knew. But that's life, right? She's not here anymore and time goes on.
Right.
And so I think it is unfortunate that this is the state that it's in, but I think it's only natural.
Yeah, I think the thing that bothers me, and this is definitely gonna be a hot take. It's gonna ruffle some feathers. But like I remember, growing up, being in middle school and learning about the civil rights movement, and all the terrible things that happened in the South, would be slavery and all the racism throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, so on and so forth. And I was like, wow, I'm so glad we got past like these heavy racists kind of running the show.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, we just gave the racist power again through woke liberalism. I caught that.
Yeah.
The other day, like when we posted that one TikTok. Yes, when I made the comparison with the wall to how Nova Scotians treated people coming the outside. And one guy comes in and was like, well, one was dealing with brown people and just blatant disregard for Mexican people who are coming from South America. And he made a huge sweeping statement about all Mexicans and brown people and how that's not a big deal compared to what COVID was. And I was like, just in your statement, it was like kind of a racist statement, just to make a sweeping statement about a whole group of people based on their ethnicity. That's racism. And you're going to come and tell me that my take was off. You're literally you're claiming to be progressive, but you're making racist statements.
Yeah, one was to deal with Mexicans.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, like, okay. Fair enough.
One was to deal with illegal border crossings, regardless of who does them.
Yeah. Yeah. But and that's the thing is like a lot of the illegal crossings were people coming from South America. So you're talking about Ecuador.
Why'd you only mention Mexico?
Yeah, because that's the country they're coming from, sure. But like it's just like, I don't know, this type of stuff, like I just find our discourse has been
divisive.
Racism has made its way back in a way that I didn't think it would.
It looks different now.
Yeah. It's like it came from the side that I thought was supposed to be forward thinking and progressive. I'm like, yeah, we're all on the same team. And then eventually they just started making everything about race and treating people differently based on their skin color or their gender or their sexual orientation. Yeah. And I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Well, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like, I was, I'm a huge believer in treating people just based on the merit of their character.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's someone who was really famous once upon a time who said that at some point. I don't know. You probably remember their name.
But it's true. I think the way you and I are thinking,
I know who it is.
Well, you and I are thinking that way, though, is unique. I think those in power, like in true power, like like Republican Democrats. I mean, they have historically always had something wrong. You know, Republicans were at one point racist.
Yeah.
Now you could say there is white knighting or some racism going on in the left that looks different now. In the same breath, though, you know, there are other equality issues that happen on the other side too. So it's like, to me, I'm here like dying for a middle ground.
Yeah.
I'm dying for a middle ground where we can just exist. I don't think even my kids would see that. I don't know. I think what I'm learning as I grow up is I think this whole life thing is built with turmoil. I think you have to find a way to exist with it.
Right. We're just broken.
I don't
people.
think we're owed I don't think we are owed a simple, peaceful, or restful existence. It is up to us to create that.
Right. Yeah, there's something I was watching the other day where there was a story of a wild boar who just like attacked a guy in Italy and like almost straight up mauled him to death. And so,
Gosh,
yeah.
a wild boar in Italy?
yeah, it was something like
What
that.
a story.
A guy was going
What a
hunting.
headline.
Yeah, and apparently in Italy the laws are you can only carry like 3 rounds or 6 rounds with you at a time.
Got it.
And so he only had pop, missed
And that
him,
was not
and then
enough.
it was not enough.
No.
And this guy got into serious trouble. Eventually, I think he survived. But it was just like the point was like, wow, this whole like you get out into the wild, things are built to kill you. Like, yeah, we're not like we have to exist with these things, but they want to. There's a lot of things in this world that want to kill us, let alone our fellow man, our fellow person.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a weird time. I think you're right. I think you make bring a good point. It's just the reality is like we have to face the reality that we live in a very broken life, broken society, broken people, and a lot of crap is going to happen, and we have to make your own peace.
I have found a lot of comfort in the saying, if we all got together in a circle and put our problems in the middle, we would all choose our own if we had to walk back out. You know? So I think there is something to be said for just finding peace and becoming content.
Right. And just loving people as you go.
Yeah. Just if it makes you happy. If being ruthless, maybe it sounds messed up to say,
here we go.
But here's the thing. If doing something like this, like what I'm speaking of is the Saskatchewan killing, or, you know, if in his soul and in his mind be there something wrong, maybe like a mental health issue or something, but if he was convinced that it was going to bring him joy and happiness to do it, I can understand why he did it. He was convinced that it was the right thing to do. But for you and I, maybe the right thing to do is to read a book and have a coffee or something.
Yeah, it'd be a hot take, but don't do it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think we are just wired differently, I think. I don't know if we'd ever get an explanation of why this happened. You know, I think there's something in a person's brain that says, this is okay. This will bring me satisfaction.
It just brings up how messed up we are as a society that like we are so driven by pleasure. It brings up.
Oh my gosh, we are like,
because it feels
if
right.
we
it's the
click
right
the
thing to
button,
do.
I want it to make a noise back.
Right.
Like we're like monkeys. We're just like, we just want the dopamine. We are just craving it.
Yeah, man. This new age of tech hasn't helped, eh?
No, are you kidding? I can anything I want. I can buy stuff. I can buy food. I can do my school. I can do work. I can do everything from here instantly. And I noticed this the other night where I'd sent a pretty important email reply to someone at like 9:30. And I could not fall asleep because I was waiting for them to get back to me. It's 9:30 at night.
Right.
They're not going to get back to me.
Right.
But I'm so used to instant gratification that I just was like buzzing. I was like vibrating. I just wanted them to get back to me. I was like, what are they thinking? Why are they not replying? Was that rude? Should I send in the morning? So I had to find an app where I can schedule emails to send in the morning, because then it's more appropriate when you're waiting for that response. But I'm just trained for instant gratification. I am like trained for it.
Dude. Yeah. How long do you think if everything just like went kaput, we hit like real time civil war, all supply lines are cut.
Yeah.
How long do you think you could last on your own?
Me?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, my father's taught me how to handle a weapon.
Right.
I could hunt if I had to.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if I could skin it well, but I could get the meat out of it.
Right.
I think I could eat. I watched my grandfather on my mother's side know how to plant a very fruitful garden. I could survive that way too.
Okay.
I think I'd be okay. I'll
ask this question then. If it happened today, like tonight,
Yeah.
internet's down, life is back to primitive times.
Yeah.
Could you do it tonight?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps that I own property
Right.
that I can go to plant a garden, to bunker, to secure myself, where I don't have to rely on someone else for housing.
Right.
And I understand that's privilege, but it's mine. I have it. And I think I'd be okay.
Interesting.
I wouldn't wanna.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to go on TikTok tonight.
Yeah.
But
I want my Uber Eats.
yeah, but I could do it. I think
Interesting.
it would be very different for me.
Yeah.
I'm a little prissy, like certain things. Like I'm, like it would be hard.
Yeah.
But I think I could do it.
Okay.
Do you think you could?
Well, the thing is, like, I'm trying to think. Like, obviously, I know I have my food all set up in terms of, like, at least 2 months worth of food at home.
Yeah.
So at least I could survive on food.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think I'm thinking, like, if things just really hit the fan.
Yeah.
And violence starts breaking out in the streets and you really got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not ready
Right.
for that type of conflict.
Right.
I don't have weapons.
Oh,
I got a knife,
I
which
don't know if
apparently
I'm
is
even-
effective.
I don't even know if I'm mentally prepared
Right.
for that.
Yeah.
Like if it was like they were just coming in drones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
People are just coming because they, like, there was no cops, no nothing, and it's time to start stealing from other people. That's how I'm going to survive. Would you be able to defend people off of your property? Like, I'd be,
Yeah.
I know you would definitely be able to. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I just don't have the means to.
yeah.
And I think I need to start convincing my wife to let me to.
Yeah.
Kelsey, could you let me own a gun, please?
Listen, obviously, I mean,
Just kidding. That's a joke.
Here's the thing, and what is crazy about this country with gun laws. Say, for example, you manage to acquire a firearms license, which I encourage everyone to look into what that means in Canada, and then you manage to get a restricted firearms license, meaning you could own a pistol,
Right.
not just a hunting rifle. You could own a pistol. It needs to be trigger locked without any ammo in it. The ammo needs to be in a separate safe than the weapon, and it needs to be in a locked safe. If someone were to come into your home and you were to undo the trigger lock, undo the ammo case, load it, fire, and take their life, you would be charged with improper handling of a firearm.
Yeah.
But you could stab them
Yeah.
to death. Yeah.
I don't get our gun laws here, man.
Yeah.
Like, they don't make any sense to me. I think that's why after all the Port Pick stuff happened, how that was used in such a way to continue to, like, enforce
That was
laws.
so disgusting.
That was ridiculous.
They didn't give them a moment
No.
to just have. They didn't let them have a moment to grieve before they were using them in their agenda.
Yeah. And,
That was super insensitive.
And I'm trying to. Well, I was listening to it on on Global News, did a whole 8-part podcast on it, and that was one of the things I heard from one of the victims was, like, we didn't have a weapon, and that was the only way we were going to be able to defend ourselves. And they found, like, an old rifle that had, like, a few rounds left in it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the kids had it, something like that, ended up grabbing it. But it's just that was for them. That's the first thing they came to, was like, I wish we had access to guns.
Yeah.
So we could have protected ourselves. Which is, like, that comes down to that's a whole other argument, which I'm not telling you where I lie on that. But
Yeah.
it's like, it's a very, it's a complicated conversation. I don't know how you'd even regulate this. This is more of, like, my perfect world is, I actually think there should be separate laws for weapons for people who live rurally versus people who live in the cities. If cops are going to take 45 minutes to get to you, I think you should have more easy access to weapons, whether it just be fighting off bears, animals, stuff like that.
Coyotes. Yeah.
Or if or if people are coming to bring harm to you.
Yeah.
Like, RCMP ain't getting here till 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, these people need something to be able to take care of business, right? Like it's interesting, right? Versus cities, well, your cops are gonna be at your doorstep in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which even then, in the most craziest times, isn't going to be
That
fast
feels
enough.
like a lifetime. I can't relate.
No.
God willing, thank God I'm not able to relate.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I feel like 5 minutes in a high stress situation must feel like a year. Must feel like a lifetime.
Absolutely. I imagine how that feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was just like, I mean, we stepped in a lot of dicey territory already, but like it's
yeah. And I want to be perfectly clear. I'm not trying to say anything that's offensive. I just simply think it's things worth thinking about.
Yeah. Things that have come to mind, conversations that have come to mind.
Yeah.
Like through all this stuff going on.
Yeah. Maybe I've got it 100% wrong,
Yeah.
but it's just what I've seen and what I think.
Yeah. Shoot, bro.
Man.
Yeah, so we're gonna skip like half the things we're gonna talk about tonight.
What can you do? We're just on a roll.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. But yeah, it's intriguing, and I was personally, this is people. This is gonna be a couple weeks old by this time this airs. But the whole thing with the Biden's speech in front of the red and black. That was weird.
Yeah.
And that was like, for me, that was kind of the moment for me. I was like, oh, this is getting real. Like, he actually took target at like a good chunk of America.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't say I was a fan of that.
Yeah, that was an interesting approach from your country's leader.
Yeah. The man who's quoted saying, I'm here to unite. And then, like, I mean, the person you're talking about had 73 million votes.
Yeah.
So even take a fraction, what if it be even 20 million people that really believe in who Trump is, and if they categorize themselves as MAGA, that's 20 million people, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I'm still thankful I'm not in America.
Yeah.
Through everything that's happened in Canada, I'm still okay being here comparatively.
Right. Fair enough.
Know? Yeah. That because I don't know. I don't know if one's better than the other. I just think the divisiveness and the intense need to vilify, cancel, and I don't know how else to explain it. It's just 10 times in America, it feels like, compared to here.
Yeah. Well, I think they're 10 times.
Also, there's more people.
Yeah, there's more people, but they're just further ahead than us. Like, even in our like rhetoric between politicians is increased in relatively.
Yeah, like our parliament is intense now more than ever.
Yeah, like
10x America.
Speaking of that, like I was a video I sent you a couple of nights ago. I forgot about this and was reminded of how terrible it got during the trucker convoy.
Yeah,
when you had a member of parliament say "honk honk" was essentially an acronym for "Hail Hitler."
Yeah,
a real politician stood on the stake in Parliament Hill, was in the House of Commons, who uttered those words saying, that's what that means. What the heck?
To an opposing caucus that has several Jewish constituent, or what were they called? Members of parliament.
Yeah. I was like, I was stunned. I was like, and then you want to tell me that like, oh, we're good. We're not that divided.
When I hear those things too, and especially very lately, everything's come back to someone's being compared to Hitler.
Yeah, everyone loves to compare to Hitler.
And growing up, listening to my grandmother talk about her escape from Nazi Germany, or the reign of Nazi Germany, and what that meant to face Hitler. It's super, super in poor taste. And anyone who refers to anyone but Adolf Hitler as something that's Hitler is absolutely whack.
You can't trust him.
Absolutely whack. It is not the same. No. So sorry.
Yeah. And I know like the argument is, well, it's like it's best to call it out now so it doesn't get to that point. Where I'm like, yeah.
Then call it out for what it is.
Yeah, exactly what
you
it is.
Using Hitler is trying to sell a point. You're trying to sell a position. You're trying to use buzzwords. And
it's a weak, and it must be a weak position if you're finding yourself needing to go to that level.
Yeah.
However,
And it's disgusting.
I will say, pointed out, Biden looked a little weird during his speech.
Dude.
That was weird.
There was a lot of stuff about that on Twitter. I was like, wait, that is weird.
I love what CNN did during it.
What?
Dude, they saw how bad that red and black looked behind him
And they color adjusted it?
to like a fuchsia.
No!
To the point you could tell the colors in the American flag are different. I was like, ooh. Even CNN's trying to run interference, like, ooh, this is not good.
Yeah, it was not good. That was in poor taste.
That was bad. And but the thing is, like, I started learning all the planning that goes into these things, and people who plan, say, like, the stage, this, that, the other. Like, that was 100% on purpose.
Which hurts me actually on a deeper level.
Yeah, to the point where you knew what Biden was going to be talking about, and you wanted to prove a point, and you wanted to, like, all right, game on.
You wanted to hurt someone.
Yeah.
You wanted to hurt people.
Yeah. You wanted to be like, all right, you know what? MAGA Republicans, it's on. We're coming for you. And here we are, man. Things are going to get spicy.
And to completely contradict myself, that's not Hitler, though Hitler at his core, Adolf Hitler at his core, was a politician who had it against a certain demographic of people. So while I still don't like it, just because of my own personal connections to what that is, I can understand the fear of a MAGA Republican. Although I don't agree with them either, I can understand the fear.
Right.
That was in poor taste.
Apparently, his rating is like wearing the gutter after that speech. Like both sides are just like, oh, that was a little much.
It was a lot much.
Yeah, yeah,
It was really hard to digest.
yeah. I had friends who are diehard like Democrat parents stuff, and they're just like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And I was like,
It's bad when your own side starts to talk about it.
Yeah,
that is the beginning of the end.
yeah, I think that's the problem. I think the Democrats realize it's the end because if you realize all the things that Biden is running on, it's the same thing that Trudeau does up here. We'll bring it back to the Canadian content eventually, but his whole platform at this point is Trump bad. He hasn't actually told
Why Biden good?
Yeah, like what have you done, Biden? Yeah. That's really helped people out. It was like, no, we're going after Trump and all his supporters. I'm like, I mean, Trudeau does the same thing up here. It's like, it's all about how awful the conservatives are and how racist they are. And you can't allow them in power. And I'm like, hey, but Trudeau, what have you done though?
Yeah.
Lately.
Weed's legal.
Yeah. I'd love to know. It's like, inflation's at an all-time high. Great.
Yeah, but it's our fault.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it.
It's our fault.
We keep talking about it.
Yeah,
It's actually single-handedly caused by this show.
Yeah. Yes.
We talk about it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I made a quick old call. And
Calling the old JT.
Yeah. Like, hey man, so I just want to let you know that keep the inflation going.
Yeah, we need content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got on speed dial.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was wild time. Actually, you want to bring up this photo right here? You want to just enlarge that? Actually, that brought up a huge point to me. I think you should double click. It should come up. There you go.
That a problem for inflation.
So this is like kind of a LinkedIn post from Liz Gosselin, Chief Creative Officer at RG Strategic, but she was talking about how
this from today, eh?
Yeah, this from today.
These interesting numbers.
So Nova Scotia living wage is about $23.50. The minimum wage right now is $13.35.
Yeah.
And so it brought it to the point where Bank of Canada is like, oh, because people are asking for more money is driving up inflation.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, the cost of things are so expensive right now. Of course.
People are dying.
Literally.
They're sinking.
Yeah. Hello. People are literally pulling out credit just to go to the grocery store.
Isn't that disgusting?
Brutal.
The fact, how are people not more upset about this? I actually don't know how people are not more upset about the fact that Canadians are going into consumer debt to feed their children.
I think because
with no plan on how to repay it. Because if I was a parent and had kids, I would feed my kids before I worried about how I was going to pay off my debt. I would 100%. But that doesn't mean it's the right thing that should be happening.
No, I think the problem is I've caught on to this over the past 14 years now, whereas like the people tend to take on the personality of who's leading. So during 2008, you had a very fiscally conservative government.
Yeah.
People just naturally were fiscally conservative in their own finances.
Yes.
To the point where 2008, it hurt some people, but it wasn't nearly as bad as what happened in the rest of the world.
Yep.
It was actually pretty chill here. But now we have a government that just loves to throw money at everything.
Dog, they spend money like it's going out of style.
And then
They create money like it's going out of style.
True. And now we're at a point where people are like where what is it? Essentially our consumer credit.
Oh, our consumer credit index or consumer spending index,
Yeah,
or
something like that. It's just like it's through the roof. It's high as it's ever been.
Yeah, they're like making up numbers to fit onto a scale.
Yeah, which it's just like yikes. What's going to happen, right? And so, I mean, I think it's again just people taking advantage, or not taking advantage, but again mimicking the personality or the actions of who leads them.
Yep.
And I think with the issue we're seeing with people taking out, debt to say pay for groceries is just, I think, because debt is so normalized in our society. It's like, whatever, just declare bankruptcy, right?
And it starts from school. I think you are taught to save money, to have credit, to spend, to be a consumer, to be a worker. Which is nothing. And I need to be perfectly clear: there is absolutely nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Though what there is something wrong with is going into severe debt to support the lifestyle that your 9 to 5 cannot provide that you wish you had. And this is, I'm not speaking about right now, where you can't even have a life you just simply need.
Yeah.
No one is told that debt, like the reason why debt isn't, and Rich Dad Poor Dad says this, the reason why debt is not taxed is because that is how money is created.
Right.
And what I mean by that is if you lent me $100,000, I'm convinced I could turn it into $1 million. Just simply through real estate, I think I could. But if you give a spender or someone who admires or strictly adheres to a consumer or spending agenda, they would just simply owe the bank $100,000.
Dang.
But we were both given the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think we're taught that. It's innate.
Yeah.
You have to look to become someone who knows how to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I can spend too, like the best of them.
Yeah.
But you have to have some sort of control. The issue is there's no room for control right now. It's too late for control. People are starving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, people are hurting, and people who are in positions of authority who are really well off are kind of like, yeah, I know it's an issue, but they don't feel it personally, and nor does their friend circle or people directly around them in their lives are feeling it either. Like they don't even understand what's going on.
Not a clue. I don't think, like, for example, a political, like a super high up political person, so a member of parliament, I don't think they have to check the price of anything. I think they have an American Express or a credit card that just gets paid off.
Their card always works.
Their card always works, dog. And it just gets paid off. Yeah. And I think that's just it.
Yeah.
And especially when you have the likes of the Weston family who heavily, oh my God, what's the word? Lobby the government. That's who sets the majority of the grocery prices in Canada. Loblaws is by far the biggest grocery retailer. And they are like lobbying all the time with the Liberal government.
Love it.
So what are we to do but start fighting in the streets to eat? Like, what's next?
Yeah, what is next?
What is next?
I'm genuinely curious. What's
next?
Me
too. I'm not joking.
Yeah. So I guess we can think about it. What is next? I guess so. Big things we need are shelter, food. Shelter is becoming harder and harder to come by these days.
Yep. And you need that first because food's no good if you have nowhere to store it.
Exactly. And we're already starting to see that in even our city. Like the crime has gone up here in Halifax, let alone the rest of the country.
I can only assume mental health services, the need for it has gone up.
Yep. And now, so that's, you already have an issue with shelter, and now food's getting harder to come by. Inflation's it's increasing things like crazy. And so now people are, I've already heard stories too of moms who've are literally putting water in their milk so it can last.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's just like, yikes.
And now Loblaws is putting police in the Atlantic Superstores. I
started seeing that.
I'm be real with you. If
be real.
If I was at like let's say what's like a local like Arthur's, and I saw someone stealing, I would be a little hurt by that because that's a local grocery store.
Yeah.
if I see a parent stealing at Loblaws, I am turning the other way. 100%. Like, that is not my business. I'm not sticking my neck out for Galen Weston. They must be stealing for a reason. Who am I to get in the way of them feeding their kids? But I know there are people who must be stealing to feed their family.
Yeah, that was a great point.
Why else are there cops there?
Yeah, like I was just wondering that the other day because my past 2 trips I've gone. This is about the past 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
I've been seeing like police, and I was like, that's odd, very odd. And then I was
uncomfortable shopping experience.
But now I'm starting to realize now inflation's going up, things are getting crazier.
They can prosecute at the door.
Yeah. You're going.
Yeah,
come on me.
Yeah. I can only assume that's why.
Has to be
why else is there a cop in my grocery store?
Yeah. So, give me the general area of where the store usually goes.
The north end of Halifax, dog.
Oh, really?
Let's call it what it is. It's right on Yonge Street.
Oh, you go to that
There's
one?
no. I went there the other day for one thing.
Yeah.
Because there's not one in mine in Bedford.
Oh. Of course.
Yeah, of course, is right. It's shady and it's not right.
Even I went shopping the other day at the Atlantic Superstore down by South End.
Oh, yeah, Barrington.
The Barrington one. And I just there, and then I've been there for like 2 minutes, and then I just hear over the
PA?
it's like security to aisle 1 and 2, or like to check 1 or 2, and they're like security, like saying it multiple times. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is student discount day.
Yeah, like, dog, I'm just here to not pay tax.
That 5-finger discount. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, I think we are like moments away from tyranny.
Dang, that's a strong statement. You think so?
When I have to grocery shop with police, that's scary to me. I've never seen something like that.
Right.
And I know it's one cop. But when is it
Ever
10?
happened? Yeah.
When all of a sudden is it like cops are checking you before you leave the store? When is it
It's like Costco greeters.
Right. When does the Costco greeter turn into a security guard? When you start seeing changes like that, to me, that is like low-level tyranny. That is like, what's going on?
Right. That's a great point. I actually like. I'm like, yeah. I'll say what I said earlier. Like, I've been starting to see the cops at more grocery stores around the city, and I was just like, I found it odd. Didn't really understand it, but now, just as you speak, I was like, oh, now I'm connecting the dots.
And why isn't it everyone? Because Loblaws in Nova Scotia, if it's an Atlantic Superstore, are not franchises. So it's not like one owner of one store said, I'm going to hire HRP to be here. That was up to corporate. Why would they not put one at every store? And then they may say, well, there's more theft here. Is that the reason?
You think so? You think it's deeper than that?
Absolutely. I think it is deeper than that. I think it 100% is deeper than that.
So now we might need to do a vlog on this. Just go to every superstore. We can just hit a bunch of superstores in the city and just see who's got cops, who doesn't.
Even the NSLC by the Scotia Square, they have a security guy at the door now. And you get ID'd walking in.
That's new. That's new.
So
Do they scan it?
No, they just check it.
They just look it.
But it wasn't there at the start of the summer.
Absolutely. It's never been there.
All of a sudden I walked in and I'm getting ID and I'm like, oh, okay. It's weird. Also get ID'd at the desk, but like.
Weird. Scotia Square is sketchy.
Yeah, it's a fun time down there.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
But even still, there never used to be security at the Scotia Square. Anything, really. I mean, the mall had security.
Yeah.
I just think there's always something else with someone like Loblaws. It's always got to be deeper than what meets the eye.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, dude.
Who am I?
Yeah.
But,
well, it's I mean, we'll finish with this story because I'm curious.
We should touch on something on this freaking note.
Because we're talking about things that are going crazy, we'll hit the Nova Scotia power increases.
Yeah.
So Nova Scotia Power wants to increase rates by 11.6% over the next 2 years, up from previous forecast. Company says it needs more money from ratepayers to cover skyrocketing fuel costs.
It needs more money from us, dog. What was the raise we talked about last year? Oh my god, Buddy's making buckets of money. Amira.
That was over the solar panels.
Yeah, but the CEO took a raise.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, the CEO took like a multi-million-dollar raise, right?
So, it was Amira. Is it or the company that oversees Amira?
Amira is the company that oversees NS Power.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so I think it was Amira then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took a good chunk of cash.
So find some money.
Yeah.
Find some money somewhere else.
We need some little extra. So Nova Scotia Power says it needs more money from ratepayers. The company is now asking regulators for permission to raise rates by 11.6% between 22 and 2024, up from the 10% it applied for earlier this year.
This year, dog. And I bet the regulators will say yes. Because just like everything else in this province, Emera is brown-nosed right to the Liberal government. And that's why they get away with what?
But we have a conservative government.
Dog, no, federally.
I'm pretty sure Nova Scotia Power.
Emera.
Oh, you're talking about Emera.
Emera. Who calls the shots for NS Power?
Yeah, I got you.
Emera is like right up there with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they get away with what we talked about earlier, the dams, the hydroelectric dams that they're just letting rot to destroy our waterways and water, sea life and things like that. Same thing. I bet this will go through.
Yeah, I can see that.
Someone will apply pressure.
Yeah. I forgot that they already increased it by 10% earlier this year. That's crazy. They're just going to double it.
This year.
On September 3rd, NSP disclosed its fuel costs are $681 million higher than the May 2021 forecast it used when it applied for the 10% rate hike in late January. Since that time, worldwide inflationary pressures that we've made up and geopolitical events have
Ukraine.
caused... Yeah.
They just couldn't say that. The PR person didn't approve that.
Significant cost increases in services and products, including fuel to operate vehicles and fuel to generate electricity. Oh, wait, we rely on...
I hate this province, dog. I hate it here. We use coal to make electricity to power your Tesla.
Dude, I'm green, bro.
Dude, it's so backwards here. It's so backwards.
Oh, man. But
the new Green Deal. Oh my gosh. Dog, crazy.
Oh, shoot.
Anyway.
Officials say the price of solid fuels used to generate electricity, particularly coal, have gone up along with the cost of natural gas and oil also used in Nova Scotia's power grid. NSP says the increase in solid fuel costs in the first 6 months of 22 was $119 million more than the original forecast. Natural gas jumped up by $89 million. The cost of wind power has remained flat. Really? Has the cost of wind power remained
because we
flat?
outsourced it all the countries from Europe and China.
Yeah. In 2020, it's forecast to stay that way in 2023. Imagine that.
Dog.
Oh,
do you know we don't even have control over our own wind power here either?
Oh yeah, because we source Chinese companies.
Yeah, with the wind turbines.
Yeah,
and then we ship half of the electricity it generates is sent away.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Speaking of that, I did find it really interesting that Germany hit in that hydrogen deal with us.
Oh yeah, Europe is a huge proponent of our energy.
Yeah, all because of they rely on Russia so much.
Of the Ukraine-Russia thing.
Yeah,
the geopolitical events.
Which I mean, hey, let's talk about this. I'm not gonna lie, this part did make me laugh a lot.
Okay, give it to me.
So obviously when Trump got up and called out Germany way back when, and said, hey, you guys need to get off this Russian energy and start relying more on yourself and start generating your energy on your own. And they literally laughed at him. They literally laughed at him.
Rocks.
And now they're over here cruising.
Can we have some energy?
Hey, Atlantic Canada, we need help.
Meanwhile, they're like, sure. Nova Scotians pay 11.6% more on top of the 10 we already increased because Germany needs more.
That's for hydrogen energy they're buying though.
Oh right,
In fairness.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, I don't think my theory is that far off from something that's plausible.
But all I'm saying is we generate some pretty cool energy here, but for some reason Nova Scotia Power doesn't use it.
Yeah.
So we generate things for other people to enjoy. But the old coal, that's for us.
Yeah. We'll keep the smog layer over Dartmouth and by the bridge.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll keep those smokestacks going.
And we'll keep increasing the rates on you suckers. And now you got power things that are, increased. And now people are trying to pay for food, pay for their shelter. We're on to a rough one.
Yeah.
I'm just checking if the $200 million.
How many of these they could buy?
Yeah. So 2 to 4 million per average size commercial wind turbine.
So let's just say it's $4 million. Let's say it's on the high end of that scale, and they're increasing rates that would provide an estimated $200 million in additional revenue. They could buy 50 wind turbines.
Oh.
And they can be as large as 12 megawatts.
You know, and it's funny. I haven't really been a huge
million per megawatt.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a typical
Yeah,
cloud. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I am curious because I know there's also some other like wildlife issues people have had with wind turbines, like killing wildlife and stuff.
Yeah.
However,
It's also not great for humans.
oh no,
No, they shouldn't be near where people live, which is something that they love to try and do.
really, what's wrong with them?
It's not radioactivity, but it's the vibrations that they create. One, deeply affect people's natural sleep rhythms, and two, can be shown to lead to, I believe, like long-term illness, cancer or otherwise.
Interesting.
Yeah, when too close to residential areas.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Either way,
I think.
See, like I wouldn't be a huge fan of the wind turbines in like other parts. Like I can speak mainly for Nova Scotia. Like would be huge beneficiaries of wind power.
Yeah.
because it's so windy off the ocean here.
Yes.
But I would like to take it to another level. If we could, I know there's been actually some serious work that's been going into it. I just haven't been able to find a solution for it. But we can really figure out how to harness that energy in the Bay of Fundy and just
it
crank
rip
that
roars
sucker.
every day.
Yeah, like that would be nice. I just know it's like so powerful that people haven't been able to like figure out a
Build
way.
something that can sustain.
Yeah, but if we can figure out essentially our water power stuff here,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
I wonder what that will look like. It will not be easily accessible, though,
No.
in the beginning. I mean, it's just proven time and time again.
Yeah. But yeah, let's keep burning that coal, boys,
Oh, my gosh.
and charge me another 11.6%.
That's not. So that would make it 21.6% year increase.
Yeah. I guess over the course of 3 years, technically. So that's crazy.
Yikes.
Wow. We love you, Nova
Yikes.
Scotia Power.
Thanks, man. Thanks, NS Power.
Yeah. We love you.
At least they won't cut power off in the winter. So
Oh, true.
just if you don't have to pay if you can't pay your power bill, wait until it's cold. They
Right.
won't cut your power.
Oh, true. Let's go.
They'll just cut it in May.
Oh man, I wish like we could like run like a lot of our, like what downtown Halifax does.
Yeah.
I wish we could run more of our cables underground.
Dog Cowie Hill does it.
Does
So like, yeah, part of Broadfield has it, and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
that is sick.
That's
It is.
fancy.
It is nice. I think out where I live, some of them are too. It's so much better.
It is much better. I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood in Toronto that had that, and like it's amazing how little our power got knocked out.
Yeah, only if like because it comes out of the ground at boxes.
Yeah.
So if you mess with those,
Yeah, you blow a transformer, that happens.
it can happen.
But it happens a lot
You can't
less
crash into a pole.
than like a bird running into a
Right.
wire.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, the amount of people like guy would crash into a pole. It's like
Well, they're everywhere.
oh right.
Because someone's bound to hit them.
Yeah.
You know. Especially in winter, like on ice, you spin out. You can't control where you land. Like I wonder how often it's a power pole over like a tree or something that's hit.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thing with like running it underground, you can do so much more through the cables too because it's naturally insulated by the ground.
Yes, you can rely. You can put energy back into the cables, basically.
What?
Yeah, is that not true?
I have no idea.
Well,
sorry.
I know the insulator for at least the ground works as a better insulator than the air.
Yeah,
So
like
you don't like lose power.
Yeah, you don't lose
Okay,
it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I said that in a pretty roundabout way. But yeah, you don't put it back in, but you don't lose it. Yeah,
It's got regenerative braking.
yeah. No.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you
Yeah.
lose less of it.
Yeah,
100%.
And you can just put bigger power, like larger cables underground, and you don't need to do the, high wires up in the sky.
Yeah.
with giant towers for it. You can just do it under the ground.
That's what's crazy. It's like you'll be driving down a highway and you see like where they clear cut forests to run the big metal. Like, why didn't you just drill underground? Why didn't you just use like a bunch of big cables underground?
I mean, imagine like if you're clear cutting that much, I can imagine the amount of roots that are in the ground you have to avoid too. Yeah.
But why not just like
Oh, just like
underground clear cut just one spot?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
rather than all that.
Yeah.
Because Irving wanted the trees.
Oh, you think so?
Totally. 100%.
It's all because Irving wanted the trees.
Well, Irving's one of the biggest forestry, like, what'd you call them? Producers
Yeah.
in Atlantic Canada.
I didn't know they did the forestry too.
Oh, that's like one of their bread and butter.
I
It's
literally thought
forestry.
they only did oil.
No, they do everything. They make Royale toilet paper.
Do they?
from their trees, from their paper. They make paper products.
I didn't know this.
Irving owns, toilet paper and paper towel companies.
It was funny when I had my buddy up from Boston, and he saw, you guys got Irving up here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. They pretty much own the whole province of New Brunswick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. I guess the signs I saw on the way through New Brunswick, yeah, like we restore, they had the green signs up. Yeah, it makes sense. I add it up now. Shoot.
Yeah, man.
Wow, wild times, man. It's dude, it's crazy.
This was a great episode back from the vacation.
Yeah, when we were feeling
We talked
spicy.
about everything.
We sure did.
But with pretty, eloquently.
Absolutely. And for anyone who's made it this far,
God love ya.
don't forget, if you know anything, any stories of hauntings and stuff, please let us know.
Yeah, actually do that.
Yeah.
Please send those.
I think
our
we're
way.
actually going to be serious about this one. We're going to have a good Halloween episode.
We'll get some cool stories.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with that. And I think there's actually literally a creator in Halifax who's got like 100,000 followers on TikTok who does just that.
Cool.
I want to reach out to them, see if they'd be willing to come on. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And anyways, we love you guys all. It's been a wild episode.
Yeah, interesting one back.
Probably had you intrigued. We've probably upset you. We've also got you excited at the same time. It's all a good time.
Oh
So
my gosh.
whatever it is you're doing, whether you be crossing the bridge,
Or increasing power rates.
Or looking into deep space.
True.
whatever it is you're doing,
Wherever you are.
we love you.
We're out.
Peace.